Hello and welcome to the third and final game of the Play-agricola.com France deck release tournament. This is the grand finals. Very likely the winner of this game will win it all. It's come down to the final four players, Kimball, Sebosch, Dejf, and Hunter. They just finished playing the second game about 20 minutes ago and are going right into the third and final match. So this is a really rewarding way to cap off about a month and a half's worth of games. I think this tournament's been a lot of fun. I hope everybody's enjoyed playing in it. I hope those of you who have been watching the videos have enjoyed the videos as well. Please, any feedback you have, please pass them on. You can comment on the YouTube page, right on the forum, or else email agricolatourny@gmail.com. That email will be in the description of this video. I am William, wsefranc on the site, and I have been your tournament admin and game recorder and stuff. And unfortunately, nobody else is around right now to cast this game with me, so I get to do another solo cast. But that'll be fine. Just going over our standings so far. Oh, looks like we have Dejf starting in first, so he's going to be very happy about that, and Sebosch in fourth. So breakdown of our scores. We have Sebosch sitting at 104 points cumulative, 100 for Hunter and Kimball each, and Dejf being the last in with 94. After the first game, Dejf and Hunter were tied for first, but Dejf had a pretty poor second game, which dropped him into last. And Sebosch was in last after the first game, had a super strong game too, pushed him up into first. So anything can happen. Anything is very possible for this final game. And to start off, we have a big card come out. It is Field Watchman. This has been one of the best cards since the release of the game. The obvious synergy between taking a grain and plowing a field is just absolutely amazing. We have Clay Worker come out for Kimball, which is a fine card. And Field Watchman seems okay from Kimball. I would absolutely agree. That is an all-right way to start your grand final match. Yeah, so just go over that again. Sebosch is in first. He has a 4-point lead over Hunter and Kimball and a 10-point lead over Dejf. And Hunter and Kimball have a 6-point lead over Dejf. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that comes into the game at all. If we have Hunter and Sebosch keeping a closer, or Hunter and Kimball keeping a closer on Sebosch, maybe than Dejf. That's always possible. And of course, the bit of a volatility in the draft is going to have an impact on the game as well. I would imagine Field Watchman was Hunter's first pick, so if he got some good supporting cards, it's possible that as long as he plays it well, that this game will be his. So we have Sebosch with his second action, taking starting player with nothing, just to get the Reedstone food in the next round, which is kind of surprising. Often in a draft, you'll try to draft at least one or two really cheap miners, but even if he had them, he might decide they're just not worth playing. Of course, passing up on an opportunity to build a miner can come back to bite you in the butt later if you think, oh man, I wish I'd gotten this out. It could have given me some benefit, but I mean, Sebosch is a very strong player, so it's most likely that he just didn't have a card that he wanted to play there. So if Kimball play Reformer, which is our first France deck card of this game. Reformer is a very interesting card. It lets him keep animals on his occupation cards. So right now he has space for 3 animals in his farmyard. So that basically guarantees that he's going to have these first 3 sheep at the end of stage 1. And with the clay worker, it'll be very easy for him to build a fireplace or a cooking hearth. So good start for Kimball. He's going to have a good food engine. We have woodcutter come out for Sebosch. Nothing too special about that. It's just going to let him get a lot of wood. Go figure. And it looks like Dejf is probably going to be building the first room. So I'll be very interested to see if Hunter can get, if we have a late family growth and Hunter's playing for a card like sleeping corner, that could just be absolutely amazing for Hunter. If he gets the first family growth along with Dejf with sleeping corner because of late family growth, coming out in round 7, that'll be great for him. Otherwise, if we see it coming out in round 5, probably we're going to see Hunter get skipped, and he's going to be hurting a little unless he does have a card like Sleeping Corner. But we'll see. That's still a long ways away. Kimball's not that close to growing either. Both of them need a lot of reads, so I think it'll come down to who gets that 2-read take in round 4. So we have Dejf grabbing. He's gotten Raidstone food twice in stage 1, which is always nice when you can pull that off. He's going to be happy about that. And there we have Kimball grabbing the first fireplace, pretty unsurprisingly. Gonna give him a way to cook the sheep that he's likely going to grab in the next round. So not too much of an unusual start. A little unusual with of course Hunter taking take 1 grain twice. Means that the other actions in general are going to be a bit better for your opposition, but nothing too crazy. There we have Dejf sitting very nicely first. Gonna have the first family growth available to him. And sitting nicely with 2 stone. He might... Looking like he might be set up to double grow, actually. If he can get a really good grab, actually. Good grab. Oh, and we have Hunter playing baking tray. So that's unusual. Well, not unusual, but it's a bit unusual in the sense that if he's going to play clay oven, which is looking like what he wants to do, he's going to have to take starting player again, and he does need 1 more food for the next round. So it is possible that he sows and then just eats 1 of the grain. That's definitely possible. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, there's the Reedstone food. So maybe he's decided he doesn't want to sow. I'm not sure. We'll see. He's either gonna sow or he's gonna take starting player and build clay oven. But that leaves the 2-read for Kimball, so he's gonna be pretty happy about that, I would say. So a fun comment, after null FG, Dejf goes for ner. So one of the phrases that is used in online play, ner FG basically means nothing but FG. So if you focus just on growing your family, especially with the EIKW decks, that was a very strong way to play and was most likely going to lead to a victory. So, yeah. We have Thatcher come out for Sebosch, so he's able to build, but we're going to see Dejf first action build. I'm almost certain. Yeah, there it is. So I'll be interested to see what Hunter does here. He does so, and he's got enough to feed. So we're going to see him take starting player and build the clay oven at some point in round 2. Um, yeah, question for me is, does he have some other grain card that's going to reward him, like compensate him for passing up on the early growing? Um, yeah, we'll have to see. I would guess that Kimball grabs the 2 read here so that he's set to build the next room. Unless Sebosch takes starting player. So that would basically, if he takes the 2 read, that would force Sebosch to take starting player if he wants to worry. And Kimball saying that he is going to play it safe, passing up on the 2 read, instead going to grab his 3 sheep so that he for sure has it and is not going to have feeding problems in stage 2 in case they did get grabbed. So overall, Sebosch looking like he's going to build a lot of rooms. Dejf going for first family growth. Hard to say much beyond that. It's always good to get that first peep out. Hunter, field watcher, is super strong, but it sets him back a little in growing, so be interested to see what he does to come back from that. I mean, it's possible he might have a card like Farm Steward or something. You know, he could do a Renovate and Clay Oven. Yeah, and that Renovation coming out in round 5, we might see that kind of play. Unlikely that we see the Country Doctor, which is the pick that was Dejf's first action pick from last game, which he never got to play, but that was widely predicted that he had based on his farm layout. And Hunter grabs another read. So no, I'm guessing that he is okay with. He's just gonna try and build a room because he's gonna be able to get 3 wood most likely with his second action, and that's gonna set him up to. If he could get second growth, Hunter would just be in an amazing spot. So if family growth comes out in round 7 and Hunter is able to build, he's going to be super happy. So we have a bit of an interesting play here. We have Sebosch take starting player with his first action. That puts the pressure on Dejf, who built the first room in order to block, but of course Dejf can't block. He's not able to build a stable. He's basically, with that move, most likely stolen the first family growth away from Dejf, which is something he was counting on. Of course, it's not so bad when it's the player immediately before you, because, you know, after Sebosch family growth, the Dejf will be able to go right after. But it is too bad when you've put yourself in a position to get that first growth if someone steals it away from you. We have Kimball play the Hoarder. The Hoarder's a good card for lots of points. Probably says something about his draft that he's playing it that early, though. Maybe he wants to hold back cards, or he just doesn't have that many strong cards. Yeah. So you have some comments in the chat saying that the 2 read take was a mistake. He should have risked the sheep getting stolen. Who knows? We'll see. So we do have family growth come out in round 6, and Sebosch is very happy about that. He did very nicely. So we're gonna see him grow his family, and probably grab 3 food with his second action, I would think. Probably go for fishing with his canoe that he's played. He's also played Buried Treasure here. So nothing too special. It's free. Might not be planning on plowing, but it's something. Oh, we have alms come out for Dejf, so he's gonna be. That's gonna give him enough food to feed his family for the next harvest. So it's a pretty nice play for him. He's also set up to build another room soon with 1 more wood grab. So he's putting the pressure on the other players to keep to make sure they starting player to guarantee their position. And we have Hunter come with the clay oven now. We're very interested to see if he renovates with it. Nope. Just playing it on major improvement. Bit surprised he didn't build a room there. No, I guess not. Kimball still can't without any reed in his farm, so yeah. Hunter's still in a really nice position. He's not going to sleep in corner, doesn't have the wood for it at this point, but still very strong. You know, he's got 2 fields out with sown grain on them. He's got the clay oven. Yeah, he's going to get 3rd growth, so he's going to be grown by in round 8. So that'll be fine for him. And there's Sebosch taking fishing, pretty unsurprisingly, making sure that he's safe to feed. And we have Renovator come out for Dejf. So that tells me he's got, I would guess, Plow Driver. I would guess that with that Renovator play, he's aiming for a very early stone room. Stone house. I can't, well, I mean, Renovators, I mean, it gives you 2 clay and 2 stone, which is okay, but there are other better, well, we'll see. I would guess that he's going to stone room, going to a stone house early, because he has an occupation that rewards him for doing so. But we'll see. And of course, Dejf had to play his arms before the Renovator just because he got... We'll see. And we have Animal Yard. So, not too much from that. That's just a pretty typical play. He'll grab... He's threatening to grab the 3 sheep. We might see Kimball grab it for the food, but maybe not. We have a really nice 6/6 wood available. So we're probably going to see Hunter go for that. A little bit of a risky play because then you might have Kimball, trying to take starting player and then build. But no, I would guess that Hunter grabs the 6 wood. Yeah, not surprisingly. And Kimball, I would guess that he takes the sheep here and then builds with his second action. So Kimball, I think, is worried about someone else taking starting player. Yeah, we'll see. See what he does here. If he's gonna play it safe, he should build the room, I think. But, you know. Oh, so we have a 4 wood grab. And Sebosch makes probably the most Sebosch comment of all. Easy win Hunter, which he is definitely known for doing so. And they're joking about it, of course. Yeah. So these guys saying that, yeah, he's very well known for that. And maybe he's playing off that a little. Maybe he's trying to get them off their game. So I'll be interested to see. I think Kimball might have been hoping for Reedstone Food and to do a double build. But I think what we're going to end up seeing is, well, if he wants to play really greedy, he hopes for a 2 reed pick. But that would be super greedy. So he could starting player, grab 2 reed, and then build 2 rooms. But I think that's just going to set him too far behind. I would guess that he's probably going to 1 reed and then hope that he can build 2 rooms next round. Sebosch asked for a change, but I think it's looking like they're saying it's too late. I guess when you're playing in a tournament game, you want to be really careful about your actions. Taking back is just because there's that little bit of extra competitiveness, getting any sort of extra information. You know, it's not fair. If you if he sees Def's action and then says, oh, blah blah blah. Um, yeah. Oh, we have ceramics for Hunter. That's super nice for him. It means he's going to be able to grab the pottery unless Sebosch steals it, which is possible, but I would guess that we see. Yeah. So Hunter hoping for the 2 food there. And if he can get the pottery, I think that'll just about lock up the game for him. But nope, Sebosch grabs it. Worried about Hunter having too good of a game. And I mean, it's a good play for him. Good play for Sebosch. No real reason not to. Unless he was hoping to get the well again. Um, Sometimes you see players try to protect the ceramics with making sure that major minor has been taken, so that can't happen. So that when he first action FGs, he's guaranteed to get the pottery. But yeah. So the comment being that Hunter, instead of playing starting player, could have gone on major minor and played ceramics, and then he would have very likely then he still would have gotten the first family growth because Kimball wasn't able to take it from him because he needed to build a room. So, bit of an unusual play there. Yeah. See Hunter end up playing cookies, which is nice with any sort of baking strategy. It's going to be a free couple points. Then we have Absinthe from Kimball. Absinthe is a really interesting card. If you play it right, could be 5 food for you. Can also use it kind of for the metagame as well to try and encourage players to do actions that maybe would leave you better spots. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just talking right now about how he forgot. Kimball forgot to announce his hoarder good, but it doesn't hurt him too much. He's still got 4 harvests left to place the 4, so it's okay. So I would expect to see Dejf Renault and probably play the fireplace this round in order to eat his sheep that he's got on his animal yard. I'm still guessing that he's got some sort of. I mean, he could go to clay and build a clay room. He's got the resources to do it now, but we'll see. If Kimball grabbing starting player just to lock up his family growth slot. He's probably a little upset that he wasn't able to build 2 rooms, but When you pass up on 2 reed, it's I think it might still be it might still be this might be biting him in the butt a little. And we have Dejf play the cooking hearth, not surprisingly. Um, that does mean that he can't build a. Yeah, if he had played the 2 clay fireplace, he could have built a room, but looks like that's not what his plan is. If Turkey Breeder come out for Sebosch, this has been a very popular France deck card. Basically, it gives you a stable for free and gives you a loan of 4 wood and lets you take a build fences action. So all in all, you get a lot of bang for this one card. Um, lets you hold animals early, which is always nice. Hunter's looking in a pretty good spot to take starting player next round with the stone oven. And then if he can grab the reed, he could build another room and get the next family growth. And if he was able to pull that off, I would say that that might almost lock up the game for him. He would still need a lot of wood in order to get his fencing done. But I mean, when you're building plowing a lot of fields, you certainly don't need as much wood. Um, We have Dejf play Workaholic. Now this is a really interesting card. It's going to force him to eat all of his sheep, but it's going to give him some wood, some clay, and some stone so long as he is able to hold animals. So he's going to be looking defense very early. I am a little surprised that he's not... He did renovate this round, but I am a little surprised that he didn't play like a stone house card, because it's definitely what we thought we were gonna see when he played that renovator. So we have Kimball grabbing 2 boar, which is nice. And of course, as he jokingly says, absinthe of course is gonna go there, not surprisingly. Nice thing when you're a starting player, you're guaranteed to get that absinthe, because of course you can just pick to put it on the place where you are going to be going. So I would say, I have to say, I think Kimball's probably not going to win this at this point. He might have a better game than Sebosch still, but I would say he's not going to have a better game than Hunter. And he does need to beat Hunter and Sebosch. He needs to beat Sebosch by 4 points and Hunter by any amount in order to win. And we see the outhouse, which is very cheap for 2 points, but of course it has no effect and can only be played so long as other players don't have that many, so long as someone else doesn't have many occupations played. So it's kind of a funny card. It's a very cheap 2 points. So, but you don't usually see it played because it's very uncommon for players not to have at least 1 or 2 occupations out at the point in the game when you would want to play it. So Sebosch grabs starting player with Fruit Tree. So I would guess that we're going to see him build a room with his last action. So my grand plans for Hunter are not going to happen. But he still has the well and the stone oven available to him. So he's still in a very good spot. all the players have some way of getting food. I mean, we've got two cooking hearths, we've got the ovens with the grain fields, and then we have pottery and canoe and fruit tree for Sebosch. So they all have some sort of nice feeding arrangement, which is out already. And then we have Hunter grabbing the stone oven. So that's he didn't need to rush it, but he did anyways. I guess it gives him the last food that he needs. Plus, it's an easy time to cook. Yeah, to bake his bakes all three of his grain for his cookies. So that sets him up very nicely for food for the next little while. I am a little surprised that he didn't choose to go for the well, but I mean he can still do that next round. Um, the only other player who could have gotten either of those cards is Dejf, and I think we're looking at him wanting to use the Renault Major Minor, I'm guessing, and there we go. There's the Basket Maker's Workshop, so he's up to stone. And I would definitely think that we're going to see a stone house card now, and we could still see the Plow Driver. We could see a card like Groom and Fence Overseer. That would be a super nice combo. Even something like Silo Girl. It's a very nice card. Yeah. We have a ton of players watching this game right now. Looks like we got more than 20, which is pretty awesome. One thing I've been really happy about is generally, definitely this tournament's created some buzz for the site. You know, it's breathed a little bit more life back into it, changed up maybe what was maybe a little bit of a stale meta on the site. So I've been really happy about that. Yeah, it looks like Sebosch forgot to place his fruit tree food, so wonder if his opponents are going to tell him, "Oh, too late, you forgot about it." I don't think so, but yeah, there we go. Sebosch has noticed it now, and no one's probably going to give him a hard time. So Hunter's setting himself up. I would guess that he's planning on Renault and Um, well being a super nice card for lots of 4 points and some food. Getting the well is always nice. I would have to say at this point in the game, I still really like Hunter's position. He's not going to get a fourth person, it looks like, but he's got plenty of wood in order to fence at a reasonable time. He's got both ovens and is looking like he's going to get the well and is going to get to a stone room. So he's really looking in a really good spot. Dejf, I think we're going to have to see a really good stone house card in order to make this worth it. There is that France deck card which lets you get a stone, get an animal at every round if you live in a stone house, which would be amazing with his Workaholic. I mean, Kimball's going to have a reasonable game, but I think his game's going to be worse than Hunter. Not to bad talk him too much. Like, I mean, he's doing the best that he can, but I think if you look at Hunter with that Field Watchman, it's just stronger. And with Sebosch, Sebosch plays a plow, which is nice for him. Really nice for him. Yeah, so I have to say at this moment, I think the game is between Hunter and Sebosch. And we see Village Fool for Hunter, which is a 3-point card. You know, it's an action. It's going to give him 3 points, which is very nice. Here we have the farm steward, which I wondered if it was going to come out. I thought it was going to come out for Hunter, though. So Kimball pretty happy about that. Sebosch says, "Oh, you have it." So I wonder if he must have passed it, or he was predicting it for Hunter, like I was. Yeah, the farm steward, very nice. So actually, that's really good for Kimball. Don't know if it's enough to bring him back into the running for first overall, but definitely is still in this game. Still no. Oh, I guess the stone the occupation wasn't available. Yeah. So with So some of the comments that's going on in chat, people are saying that Sebosch's comment might mean that Sebosch saw Farm Steward in his starting pile, and if there was a pile where Farm Steward got around to the fourth player, that would have been an exceptionally strong card because often Farm Steward's going to be a first pick in any normal pile. So then the thinking being that, well, if this was a pile with three cards better than Farm Steward, Braggart must have been one of them because there aren't that many cards. There aren't that many cards better than Farm Steward. It's a very, very good card. The other thing being that if Dejf had wanted to, I think Hunter wanted to renovate that last round, and Dejf wanted to play an occupation. Right before they wanted to do so, both of the slots got filled up, so kind of hard for them. Yeah, I do not think Sebosch saw the farm steward. I think he just thought, based on the way the game was playing out, with looking like three people wanting to renovate off of three rooms, that it was very likely that one of them had to have a farm steward. Yeah. There we have Dejf grabbing his first pile of goods from the Workaholic, which is really nice. And looks like Hunter is grabbing starting player for round 12, which he did as well in the last game. So I think I don't know if it's the position that he's in or it's just the way he likes to play. He really likes to plan on taking starting player in round 11 in order to get that family growth action or that plow sow action. Yeah, so my thinking, they're still talking about the farm steward in chat. I would say that with three players renovating to clay off of three rooms, then it's very likely that one of them had farm steward because getting that fourth room and getting another family growth is very nice. It's very, very good to do. Yeah, and so some people questioning why did Hunter SP first action? I think he just did it because that's the way he likes to play. He did the exact same thing in the last game. I think he just likes setting him up for the play, and there we go. There's the journeyman. Another France deck card. Combos super nicely with his workaholic. Um, is it enough to get him back into the game at this point? Yeah, there's so we figured that there was going to be a Stonehouse card coming, and sure enough, it's the Journeyman, which does nicely with his Workaholic. Unfortunately, he's not going to have that much to do with his Clay at this point. Um, yeah, I might get one of the fireplaces, or might just leave them sitting there. I would guess that he might have been hoping to get one of the majors, but they've all been snapped up. Oh, we have Steel Plow for Kimball, which is super nice. Gonna let him plow 4 fields with 1 action, which is a very nice card to play. Of course, it's expensive, costing a stone, 3 wood, and having a 3-ock prerequisite, but will be nice to cover up lots of space on his farm. And I would say that normally a play like that will set you back in the fencing because you're not going to be able to hold animals until like the last round. But his reformer actually counters that very nicely, letting him hold lots of boar and sheep on his farm. So actually, Kimball doing pretty nicely. But yeah. Oh, and we see Sebosch renovating again. So looking like he's recognizing that he's not going to get to a stone house, thinking that that extra family growth is going to be what he needs. Um, is it? I mean, he's got a good amount of fields plowed. All he really needs to do is focus on feeding, getting his fencing up, and filling it with animals for the rest of the game. So we'll see. Hunter just looking amazing though. He does need some more wood for sure, but looking in a he's got the clay oven, the stone oven. Well, you know, that's that's 9 points right there, just off of cards, which are also helping him to feed. Yeah. So the question for me is now: is Hunter going to beat Sebosch by 4 points? I don't think Dejf's not gonna make it back into the game. He's too far behind. 6 points behind, and then 10 points behind Sebosch. Um, Sorry to say, I don't think he's gonna get back in it. Kimball, probably not. Although 2 cattle is really nice if he can get some fences up to breed all of those animals that he's holding. Um, but I have to say, I think the question now is Hunter going to beat Sebosch by 4 points? So that's what I'm going to be watching most closely. Oh, now this is very interesting. I don't know if it's enough, but it's really nice. We have Dejf playing the riding plow, which is going to let him plow. And that I was thinking that there's no way he's having enough wood to fence and have a reasonable number of plows, but he's getting that riding plow out, which is really nice for him. I don't know. Yeah, I still don't think it's enough for him, but it's something. It's something. Oh, and we have downsizing. That's really nice for Sebosch. That's a really nice card. Having the fifth room mostly useful for, if you're not going to get to stone, which it's looking like he's not going to, it's mostly useful for the fifth family member. And once you've got that, downsizing is for the wood to fence your farm is definitely, I would say, definitely worth it in this case. People are still debating, talking about that one comment that Sebosch made, thinking that he knew that he saw Farm Steward, and I'm guessing. I still think that he didn't know that, but it is possible. Anything is possible. And with all the plows out, actually, it's really this is going to be a very high-scoring game. But I think Hunter's going to have his second action in round 13. He got first action in round 12. I think this is still Hunter's game to lose. We have Cabbage Lover come out for Dejf. I think he's mostly doing that just to get a vegetable. He's gonna get the clay from Workaholic. Probably won't have any use for them, but yeah, I would guess that we're gonna see mostly doing it for the vegetable. And if he does want to, it gives him to eat the vegetable. It does give him a use for his clay. So nice play. Here's Sebosch with the monster fencing. Not really monster fencing, but fencing 11. Having lots of room on his farm to grab animals. To be fair, there aren't that many animals left. Kimball's been snatching them up, and Dejf has been snatching them up as well. So I think we're going to see Sebosch. He's going to prioritize them very highly, but he's not going to get that many, actually. And I think Sebosch still needs to grab. He needs one more. He needs 3 wood to pay off his turkey breeder, but other than that, he's looking in pretty good shape. Guess we could take an early look at the scoring and see where people are stacking up. 19 points for Kimball, but he still has all of his fencing to do. And looking like he's going to renovate to stone. So he's got another 12 points with 1 or 2 actions right now. Plus a lot more. Sebosch sitting at 27. Now this is closer to his actual score. I mean, he's going to renovate to clay, which is 4 points with 1 action, putting him at 31. He also needs to take wood with 1 action. So actually he and Kimball are about even in terms of points, I would say. They're both sitting around 30 right now with 2 actions needed to get themselves there. Sebosch, the renovation action, and Kimball, the renovation as well as fences. And Sebosch needing to take wood too. We've got Dejf with... He's going to have a good way to grab more points with his riding plow. He's also going to need to do some more fencing. Probably he's gonna hope for one more fence wood grab. Um, so if he can get his actions in, I would say he's sitting around 30 with 2 more actions right now too. It's a very tight game. But then Hunter with 30 plus 3 from his cookies plus 3 from his village fool. I would say that, yeah, if you just look at from that sense, I would say that Hunter's about 5 points ahead of everyone else. Question is, so we have, not sure how many points he's going to have available in the last round, but, yeah. Hmm. Oh, and so it looks like Sebosch is complaining. Sebosch is complaining about Dejf taking SP with his Golden Rose, but Golden Rose is a pretty nice card. He might have a reason for playing it too, is the other thing to consider. Um, yeah, so I mean, round 14, you're trying to have the highest average point value per person, and definitely being fourth hurts that a lot, because instead of getting a plow he might get a plow in field, for example. Um, but I mean, he's likely going to get, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. If we do see a card like, we're not going to see at this point Cloister Dweller. None of them have built for that, but we might see a card like Braggart potentially. It's not clear if we've seen everyone's first picks yet, and Braggart certainly is the fifth pick or first pick. No one's played super heavily for it, although Hunter's leading the way with 7 minors or 7 improvements. I would guess with the Field Watchman though that Hunter does not have Braggart. So I'm not seeing a lot of hidden points coming out here. Like, not a lot of players with a whole bunch of extra resources. I mean, Dejf has all the read for his Basket Maker's Workshop. Hunter's got no resources. Sebosch is ready to renovate and build a fireplace. And Kimball has got enough to renovate and build a fireplace as well as defense. So I don't think we're going to see any hidden plays out here. I think this is actually just a super standard game. The only thing that was changing was the Field Watchman, and it's just going to come down to who's got the nicest farm. I don't think there's that much in terms of bonus points and stuff available. And there we saw Sebosch renovate and play the fireplace, unsurprisingly. And we have Dejf grab the field and sow for a lot of points for him. So he's gonna have end up having an okay game. He had a nice combo, but he wanted to get it out a couple rounds earlier. So he's probably disappointed at that. So I'm thinking, as I said in chat, I think that Hunter's winning. The question is, by how much? Is it going to be enough for him to beat Sebosch? Because Sebosch has had a good game. He's going to have a solid final farm. I don't know. He's going to have to probably spend a lot of actions getting himself able to feed in the last round. I mean, he can eat his boar. That doesn't cost him any points. Doesn't want to eat his sheep if he can. That's going to be a point for him if he can avoid doing that. There's not all the animals. There's only one left. All these guys played with all them staying on three rooms. They were all fencing pretty early and snatching up the animals pretty early as well. So, um, yeah. So Kimball maybe playing a little greedy, um, but nobody else can renovate. So no, it's not greedy at all. What am I saying? No, not greedy at all. He's got his reno fence very safe. It's his. No one else is going to get it. So after some craziness in the first couple games, especially with Dejf's not getting his country doctor out in game one and with or in game two, and hmm. So we're gonna have Hunter. It seems like he's gonna get about the best players, about the best actions that he can. Someone's commenting that why did he need all that extra food? Does he have the animal buyer? If he did, I think that would wrap up the game for him because that would basically be a 4-point occupation. Um, yeah, I think like I said before, Hunter's got this locked up. Kimball grabs take one grain, which is a pretty meh, as he says it himself, action. It's just a straight up 2-point action. Doesn't really block anyone else because everyone else has got grain. Kind of blocks Hunter a little. It would be well, it would only be 1 point for Hunter, so it's not really anything. Um, Sebosch probably going to go for plow a field or else take cattle. I would guess he'll take the cattle first because the plowing a field is not worth as much for everyone else. Although the cattle's not worth as much for everyone else too, except for Hunter. Hmm. So with there was no 4 wood cards in this game, which is pretty unusual. There are a lot of them. The cards that give bonus points at the end of the game if you have the most of one kind, which lowers the scores. It also lowers the amount of wood available. Um, but we're going to end up with everybody having reasonable farms. Pretty much everyone's going to have very few bonus points, which is nice. Strawberry patch for Dejf. That's nice 2-point card. Don't think he had any other 2-point actions available. So, and there's the animal buyer. Yeah, very nice. So I think that he can buy 2 animals with that, which is going to be a 4-point action, and GG to Hunter. That and Sebosch and Kimball acknowledging that in chat, saying that card probably sealed the game for him. Um, there's still a little uncertainty. It might still be close between Sebosch and Hunter for the overall tournament score, but I think it's pretty clear that Hunter is going to win this game. And I might just be talking out of my ass. Hunter might have blown them all out of the water. No, I don't think he did. Dejf ends up with 40 points actually, which is better than I was expecting. Saying that this was a bad game for him. Uh, I mean, he played it as well as he could. He missed his timings on a couple when he got His renovation was blocked, and he got his journeyman blocked as well. He wanted to play it one round earlier. Um, the workaholic ended up not being that strong in terms of the only pile he got from it was from the woods, so he's probably a little disappointed about that. Um, I would imagine Sebosch is still a little salty from Dejf taking from not having SP because starting player was Hunter, and then can't remember. I think Kimball might have taken it in round 12, and then round 13 was Dejf. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's always possible that any of your opponents can take it, and when the opponent who's right after you takes it, that makes it worse. But he does get. I mean, he's going to get to plow a field um, with his last. Actually, no, he's not. Okay, he's going to reno. What did he take with his last move? Looks like he took a whole bunch of clay. Oh, so yeah, so if he took a bunch of clay, that might be worth more than 2 points for his pottery. And he's going to reno and play coffee break. And they're all going to end up around the 40-point mark. Kimball with 41 points. And there it is, Hunter with 48 points. And Sebosch with 44. What? Wow, so we actually had a tie between... So Hunter won the game, but Sebosch had... So the first tiebreaker being number of wins. And congratulations. So that's it. So Hunter is the winner of the Play-agricola.com France Deck Release Tournament. So Bosch complaining about Dejf coming late and this screwing him a little bit on this last game. But that's part of the game. You know, they both played very well. So I mean, Sebosch did a great job to be that close. I mean, our final scores are going to end up being that they were all within, you know, a ridiculously close margin. Dejf had kind of a bad second game, which took him out of the running. But Hunter won. He tied his first game for the win and won the third game outright. And I think is the deserved victory. Sebosch did an amazing job to get himself back into it. But it wasn't quite enough. So it looks like we're going to be pulling Hunter on for a little post-game interview. I think I have Hunter on Skype already. Oh, and we have a comment. Controversial because Dejf technically should have won game one by himself. So actually, that's a very good point. But then Hunter would be... But then Hunter would have had the closer winning percentage because he was only off by 1 point in that game. So it doesn't make a difference. So people are saying GG. Thanks a lot for playing. It was great. It was a great tournament. I hope everyone had fun competing. It was really cool. I was glad to be taken part of it, or glad to have been part of it. I think people had fun, which is good. So time to call Hunter. Hey, can you hear me?
I can, yep.
Hey, congratulations, Hunter. This is William.
Thank you very much.
Well done. So a little round of applause for you from me, and I'm sure there are others out there doing the same.
Yeah, really close games. Obviously, fortunate to get field watchman there in that last game.
That that last I was I think it was pretty clear that you had won the game um, around probably round 12 for me for that third game, but the question was always how much was it by enough over Sebosch?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was trying to look at the scores and at the same time not do anything stupid while I was playing, and that's what it seemed like it was coming down to me as well.
Hmm.
And of course, you never know when somebody's gonna pop out a bragger or some other big point card that would make you relook at things.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that could have changed everything. So I have to ask you this question, just because the chat was debating it for honestly like 4 rounds. Did you pass Farm Steward?
I did, yes.
Oh, you did. Okay. What pile was it in?
It was in my opening pack with Field Watchman.
Okay, so Sebosch did not see it.
That's correct.
That was what that like there were a couple people who thought because of his comment, oh wow, Sebosch saw past Farm Steward and it got all the way around to Kimball. There must be Braggart, Chamberlain, whatever else in the game. But no, I actually when Renovation came out in round 5, I wondered if you might have had the Farm Steward and been playing for that.
Yeah. So it was really interesting if you look at that round 6 again. So Sebosch had already grew, Dejf just grew, and then I have 6 wood there, starting player, and I
Yeah.
know that Kimball has farm
N-
steward behind me, and he could renovate
yeah.
and play farm steward, but Dejf had also shown that he was looking to renovate.
Right.
So I took the gamble and I took the 6 wood.
Yep.
And then I think Kimball was worried about the same thing, and so then he didn't take starting player.
Right.
So that worked out fortunately for me.
Yeah, so that I'll have to go back and look at those rounds again with that knowledge because it what it looked like from my point of view, it looked like Kimball was hoping to get a double room build. He was hoping to take the 2 clay next round, but then things transpired such that he couldn't do that. So
Yeah.
knowing that Farm Steward's in the game really changes that.
Sure.
Cool. And well, it was nice that Def managed to show up.
Yes, it was.
We, I mean, I'm not sure what time zone you are. It's not too late for you or anything.
No, I'm in Central Time, so this is 2 in the afternoon now for
Right.
me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So,
Yeah, I just mistyped in when we were setting the times and meant to put after a certain time, but instead he made it seem like before.
yeah. Were you really worried during that second game? Because Sebosch and Kimball just had such really strong games.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Um, I mean, at first I wasn't worried because I feel like I should have been able to squeak out more points. I just couldn't get quite enough wood defense bigger, and I had some other cards that would have helped me to get out that I just couldn't quite get out. So I actually expected my game to be a little bit better that game.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever expect someone to put up 60 whatever.
Yeah, 63 points. Yeah.
So yeah, but I think overall, in some ways, it was good that it tightened up the scores for that last game and made it so everyone's going to sort of play their best. No one's going to go do crazy stuff.
Yes.
That can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice that pretty much everybody was still at it. I mean, Def was a little bit behind, but he's definitely capable of pulling out a really strong game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess what I'd like to ask you about in that game too, when Def is not playing. I mean, we know now he had Country Doctor, but didn't manage to get it out. When you have someone staying on two rooms like that, and I think you ended up going to Clay fairly early. Like that? It kind of sets you and him being set back, sets you back in that Sebosch and Kimball got to grow much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that game, I knew I was staying in 3 rooms, and I was just going to try to bonus point like crazy.
Yeah.
And like you say, once once he's struggling to grow, now they're growing more easily, and it definitely tips the balance a little bit.
Yeah. So that all sort of like the dominoes fall from that, him not getting that country doctor out or whatever.
Yeah, I actually didn't know he had country doctor, so I haven't looked at the draft picks or anything yet, and
Mm.
since he didn't play, that is interesting.
He also had five. He said that he didn't get either of his first two picks out, so the other one was 5 rings as well. So I thought that was, yeah. We honestly, I was watching that game and it was just me commentating on it myself, and I'm just thinking, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, well, he still put up 40, which is kind of crazy when you
Yeah.
consider.
Well, and the chat when he played that swing plow, someone said in all caps he has boundary stones and is going to get a maximum point boundary stone, and I was just like, I don't even know. Like
Yeah,
it was.
I actually think Boundary Stones was in that draft. I could be mistaken, but
Mm.
I thought he might have that too.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of fields. There's even too many fields for Boundary
Yeah,
Stones.
yeah, well, yeah,
Not
that
allowed.
that's very true. Um, yeah, so you ended up, did you end up coming first overall out of your semifinal match as well?
I did. Yeah, actually, those were the only 2 rounds that I won were my semifinal and the final round. The other 2 rounds, I advanced in second place.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, because you had Joe. Did you have Pin in that group as well, or who else?
Yeah,
You advanced
Pin.
with Kimball, right?
Yeah, and Kimball. Me and Kimball advanced out of that group.
Yeah. So that was so you came first out of two very hard. Not to say anything bad about the other side, but you came first out of two very hard groups. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So I guess I have to ask you, do you have a favorite France deck card now after playing all of these games? What do you have any special comments to make since this is the France deck release tournament?
Yeah, I do really like Country Doctor. I think he sets you up to have a really nice farm, and it's a solid card. It's not overpowered. It's still very good. So that's probably the one that jumps out at me as being my favorite
Yeah.
right now.
And you were a little hesitant going into the tournament, saying because you didn't have as much experience with these cards. How much have you been playing to figure them out, kind of?
Yeah, I've definitely been playing a little more with them. I had played with some of these cards early in their development.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago before they came out. So some of them I knew. Some of them, of course, have been tweaked a little bit.
Right.
Of course, all the names change, which makes it a little bit confusing at times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
What you have a hard time keeping the threshing machine and the whatever the other plow is. I like their names better when it was center and you know.
Splinterwood. Yeah.
Yeah, center's very obvious what's going on.
Yeah. Right.
Um, yeah, so I've been talking for a while, so I don't have too much more to ask about. So if you have anything that you want to say to anybody watching this, go ahead.
Just thanks for watching, and thanks to William for hosting the tournament. I think this was the smoothest tournament I've been a part of, and I've been a part of a few of them. So great job with that.
Well, it was really nice that everybody people were very interested in keeping things moving. Like with both of the semifinals played over the course of one weekend, that was just awesome. That worked out, and you guys getting all these games in the course of like 5 days or whatever. So that definitely helped keep the tournament moving and keeping people interested. So yeah, thanks for that to everyone, to yourself and to everyone who was involved.
Well, thank you.
Okay, well, so that's all for me. Thanks everybody for watching, and congratulations again to Hunter.
Thanks, guys. Bye.